John Malone is buying control of TripAdvisor from Barry Diller, and it's shedding some interesting light on what can happen with this Silicon Valley tendency or tech industry tendency to have different classes of shares with different number of votes.
So what happened is that Barry Diller sold about 100. The number of shares should have been worth about 200 million.
Right, and that's even not that much in the context.
Yeah,
of what's the
a $6 billion
right.
company. However, Malone agreed to pay an extra $100 million for these shares, and it's not actually the shares he's buying. Instead, what's happening is that Diller's also agreeing to step down as chairman,
right.
and also Diller's giving up the right to vote Malone's stock. Super voting shares. What that means is that Diller only had about, I think it's about 30% of the stock, but he had over 60% of the votes, and that's going to reverse.
Right. So, I mean, although the sort of super voting stock isn't changing hands, this extra premium is about the votes that.
Exactly. In other words,
stock.
Malone is getting control of the company for $116 million, which is quite a deal if you think about it.
Right.
You know, what if Malone decides he wants to,
But
buy
if you
out?
had to pay a 30% premium on the whole company, that would
It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot more. And the thing is that TripAdvisor is kind of a valuable company, and it could be worth
right.
a lot of money. And who knows? Will Malone perhaps want to consolidate this at some point,
right.
or will he perhaps sell it off and get another
right.
bonus for his shares? We don't know.
Right. And I think we're not taking a view necessarily on whether it's better off with Malone's control
No, I mean,
or Diller's control, but we've seen something with Facebook has multiple classes of shares, and the whole point is supposed to be Mark Zuckerberg is this genius, and he should be allowed that control, so that he doesn't have to go with the sort of normal shareholder quarterly.
And that's what these came from, essentially, because originally Diller, there were a series of spin-offs, and Diller was the managerial genius who was supposed to, add all the value to this company. Malone was the backer. Then Malone decided, well, actually, he didn't like Diller that much, and he wanted to separate, so he decided to get his votes back. But the poor minority shareholders who are there, they don't have a say in this. They're not getting a 63% premium for selling their shares in the market.
Right. Who knows which will work out better for them in the end, but the point is they have no say.
Yeah, exactly.
And, okay, we'll leave it there. That's the problem with dual classes of shares, and we will have more breaking views tomorrow.